Long, long ago in this place far away where the grass was green and the sky was blue and that lucky old moon had nothing to do but rolled around heaven. In this place there were great eagles. A beautiful female eagle would dance her seductive dance, flying high in the sky with a twig in her beak, flip-flap flopping her wings about, catching the attention of the male eagles as she would drop the twig from her beak. The male eagles, having been seated on perches, looking at the dance of the beautiful female eagle, would rush down to catch the twig before it fell to the ground. The one who could catch that twig, balance it between his shoulders, was selected to be her mate. You see, when the time comes for the baby eagles to fly, the mother must push that baby from the nest. He must flap his wings and fly. Should he not be ready, that father better be there to catch him before he hits the ground. But then one day the men in the boats came. They captured the eagle and threw her into the belly of the ship. She laid eggs, but in that rough, confined, and dirty place, she became very ill. Soon, the eggs started to move. The little beak of the first baby eagle cracked through the shell of the egg. The mother, having been weakened from that long journey, was only able to see her firstborn. Closing her eyes before sleeping the sleep that seldom ceases, she said, "Believe in yourself. Always do your best." And she slept. The other eggs hatched, and the first mate said to the captain, "Captain, there are little tiny eagles in the belly of the ship. What shall I do with them?" The captain said, "You take those little tiny eagles and we will sell them to the chicken farmer. That way when they grow up, they will think that they are chickens." And he laughed. A horrible laugh. When the little tiny eagles were placed on that chicken farm, the first thing that the chickens said to the eagles was, "Y'all some ugly chickens. You got them old brown feathers and crooked beaks, and look at your feet. And what are those, wings? What you need wings for? Chickens can't fly." The little tiny eagles began to believe that they were indeed ugly chickens. They carried themselves with their head hanging down. They would barely eat. Time passed. The men in the boats went back to that beautiful land and they captured a great and powerful eagle. They had clipped his wings so he would not fly away. But as fate would have it, when they landed on shore, they sold that great eagle to the same farmer where the little tiny eagles who thought that they were chickens were. The great eagle, seeing those little tiny, said, "Come, my brothers, come, my sister, spread your wings and fly away. You are part of a great and proud race. You are meant to soar high above the tops of the trees, through the clouds, right next to that lucky old moon, which has nothing to do but roll around heaven. Come, fly away." The little tiny eagles who thought that they were chickens just shook there. No, don't talk about being great. Don't talk about being powerful. And please don't say that we can fly. Just be quiet. You see them over there? They're chickens. And right there, those are roosters. And the roosters are going to come get you, and then they're going to come get us. So don't even say anything about us being great. We don't want to have anything to do with you. Just be quiet. Shh. Great Eagle, having heard nothing like this before, could not understand what he was hearing. The little tiny eagles who thought that they were chickens had lost the idea that they could fly. The great eagle knew that he'd have to help them. He chased them so that they could run. They began to run and they ran around the farmyard, ran through the farmyard, past the barn, into the cornfield, and found themselves in a maze. There. I did it. The firstborn firstborn little tiny eagle who thought she was a chicken began to run. Trying to run her way through the maze, but not being able to find her way out, she continued to run, and as she ran faster and harder and faster, but became quite frustrated not knowing where she was going. Something inside her reminded her that her mother said, always try to do your best. Always try, just do your best. And she ran, and she ran, and she began to flap her wings. She ran real fast and flapped so hard she was able to get off the ground just a little ways before tumbling down in the dirt. Those chickens were right there, looking at her and laughing, pointing at her. Ha ha ha, told you couldn't fly. Ha ha ha, told you were dumb and you're ugly and now you're dirty. Dumb, ugly, dirty, dumb, ugly, dirty. And they ridiculed her and laughed at her. But that's when the miracle occurred. She stood up and brushed off her little tiny shoulders. The great eagle, seeing that she was attempting to do her best, he spread his wings, pumped them against the air, and he rose up high over that corn maze. From his vantage point, he could see the way out of the maze. But more importantly, she saw him flap her wings. She began to run, and as she ran, she flapped her wings. She said, one of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up. I'll fly away home. Above the ground she was just a little ways. She continued flapping her wings and rising up higher and higher. And soon she was over the top of the corn. Her little brother saw her in the air flying like she was. He didn't even have to run. He just stuck out his wings, pumped them against the air, and took off like a rocket ship. I can fly! I can fly!
So here, Obas, tell us a little bit about that story and
Yes.
how it came for you.
That's a story, the eagles who thought they were chickens. When I first came across that story working with a group of junior high school students in one of the drama lab workshops, I found a sketch, a play, that was this full production of a captain and ship's commander and the first mate, the eagles and the chickens. They were like 37 characters, like perfect for a school-based play, where everyone can have a little minor part, and it comes up with a nice production, and the end result is a positive message.
Yes.
You know, you are an eagle, carry yourself in a great way.
Yes. Well, being in the audience for it is so powerful because we're singing the message over and over. So we're with you in the images of the story. That's what's so powerful about storytelling. And then we're singing actually the message, getting it in our own bones.
That's a new thing I've come to find, that the audience they're following along, and if there is a little melody, a tune, and you lay that in there, and it kind of becomes a second track, a background sound inside their head as they're putting the melody of that and the idea of the story to what you're telling them. And it's like one of the things that the kids say in the street, can you see what I'm saying? And that's the thing of the beauty of being a storyteller.
That's great. Can you see what I'm saying?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can.
I love that.
See what you're saying.
That's the idea.
Thank you.